Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com, and in this tutorial we're going to look at creating a basic map application. Well, we're not going to see the maps working yet, but I'm going to get as far as registering the debug key with Google, which is something we need to do before we can get this thing working. So I've got my Google Play Services lib library project set up from the last tutorial, and I'm going to create a new project here. So I'll go to File, New Android Application Project, and I'm going to test this project on my phone, which is a HTC Desire C running Android 4. But you can run this in an emulator as well, and I'd suggest at least the first time you do this, it's probably best just to choose a really recent version of Android. Don't complicate things any more by trying to get this working with an old version, because I have found this a bit of a nightmare to get working initially, and I don't know why. So it's probably best to take the simplest route the first time. So now, if I remember what I did last time correctly, I think I set the minimum SDK version here to Android 4, and target SDK, I think I'm going to set that to Android 4 as well, and compile with, I don't remember what I set it to. Let's try Google APIs 16. I think that should do the trick. I'm not sure if this is really crucial, but because I've only done this once before and successfully got it working, but I'm going to try Google APIs 16, I think, to start with. And the application name, let's call this map test or something like that. And you need to put it in a package, of course. So I'm going to put it in com.caveofprogramming.android.maptest, but choose something else. Make something up if you don't have a website. It doesn't matter as long as it's unique. And then I click next and just go through all this. Click finish. And now we need to tell this project to use this Google Play Services lib project. And to do that, I right click the project and go to Properties, Android up here, and is library should not be ticked, so don't tick that. But underneath that, you see this table, blank table, and I need to click Add here and select the Google Play Services lib project. Click OK, and then OK. So now this project will use the jars from that library project, and now we can go ahead and get an API key for this. So if you want to release an application, you need to go through the whole business of signing your application, and you'll need to register the release key with Google. And for the purposes of getting this running, I'm going to register the debug key with Google. But when you want to release it and to actually upload it, you're going to have to do this with the release key that you need to create to publish applications, as we've seen previously. But apart from that, it's going to be the same as it's going to be similar to what I'm about to show you. So let's dig up the relevant documentation here. So I just searched, this is from the last tutorial still, for Android v2 map tutorial, and went to the first link on developers.google.com, and I get this page, and it's got this stuff about displaying certificate information, and we need to kind of do all that stuff here. So what I'm gonna do is signing in debug mode here, and you need to deal with this Google APIs console. So let's open that, and I'm sure if you just type in Google APIs console into Google, you'll get a link to this pretty quickly. And in fact, I'm signed in as the wrong user here, so I'm just going to sign out and sign in again. In fact, I'll pause recording for a second. So I've signed in using my free Gmail account to Google, and now if I search for Google API console here and go to this API console, I need to make sure that I'm signed up for the Android Map API service. So if I go to services here are a bunch of different services, and somewhere down here you'll find Google Maps API v2. That's not the one you want. The one you want is Google Maps Android API v2, and you'll notice it's not got any, there's not any so-called courtesy limit. You can use it unlimited usage without paying anything. So make sure you get the Google Maps Android API version 2 and make sure that's turned on here. And then the next step is, if I remember this rightly, and again this is just instructions from the developers.android.google.com, whatever it is. It's instructions from the standard Google documentation that I'm following. But we need to, I think I need to create a API project. So if I go, here's the console kind of route, and if I go to click this thing at the top, and this may have changed by the time you're looking at this. So this is, please just take this as a kind of example of what you might have to do. I'm going to click create to create a API project. Let's call this map test. Click create project. And in fact, yeah, maybe I already did that. I'm not completely sure, but let's turn on Google Maps Android 2. And now, the important bit is that I need to get the key that enables me to use the Map API. So if I click on API access here, this is the bit that we need to get to. And you'll see down here it says create new Android key. I'm going to click that, and here you've got some instructions for creating a key. So this is where if you're releasing your application, you're going to publish it, you need to find your release key, and you need to register that key here to get basically to get a key that you paste into your application. But I'm going to register the debug key to get this running in debug mode, and to do that I'm going to start a new command prompt. So you can do that by clicking on your start menu, typing cmd and just going to cmd.exe there, and then I'm going to go cd ... actually no I won't, I'll go to cd. So by default I've opened in my users directory here, and I'm going to cd to change directory to .android. I think that's right. Hit return and do dir to list the directory contents. And here we see debug.keystore. It's in my user folder in the .android folder, which may be hidden if you view it in Explorer, I'm not sure, but here we can see it. And this debug.keystore contains a key with the password Android in it, and I'm going to try to register that. So you need to make sure you've got access to the key tool, which is part of Java. So I should be able to type key tool here, hit return, and I should see a load of gumph like this. If you don't see that, you need to type the full path to key tool. So you could just search for key tool in your start menu if you don't see it, and just right click it and go to properties, and then type this full path here. I'll just copy that and paste it in here, and then add /key tool, and again you should have the same results. Well, actually I need to put that in double quotes because there's a space in program files there. Let's try that. There we go. So same results again. So you only need to use the full path to it if it's not in your path environment variable, and if it isn't, then when you type key tool you won't see anything. It'll say command not found or something like that. So once you've located key tool, you can paste in this stuff here. Let's just copy it, just this first bit here, because this is the name of the key store, and I'm going to have to specify that manually. And so I go to my command prompt, paste it in, and then I need to type in debug. Well, I just typed in DE and hit return, hit tab, sorry, which auto completed. I hit return and it asked me for the key store password, and for the debug key store the password is Android, so I type Android and it gives me all this stuff. And now I'm going to click up in the corner here. Of course this is going to be different if you're using a Mac or something, but I'm going to click up in the corner and go to edit, mark, and then start selecting. I'm looking for this SHA1 thing here, and I'll start by selecting the first digit here, go right to the end there. Just make sure you select exactly all these hexadecimal digits separated by colons, and then press return, and that copies it to the clipboard. And I can now go back to this and paste this in. And if you read here, we also need the package name. We need to follow that by a semicolon and then the package name of the application. So let's go to Eclipse and expand source here and go to main activity. And at the top here we've got this package. I'm going to copy that, Control C, go back to the browser, and now type a semicolon at the end of this long string of digits. A semicolon, not a colon. So these are colons. You need the semicolon, like at the end of a line in Java, and then paste in the package name. So this is, I'm just following the instructions here, basically. And then I click create. And if everything's right, we're going to get this. We're going to get a key for Android apps. Now I need to paste that into the right place in my application, and the instructions for doing that are in this documentation here, the map v2 tutorial. So if I scroll down here, and it's going through all the stuff that I've just gone through, creating an API project and all that kind of stuff. And then if we look down, this is how you actually add it to your application. So we need to add something into the manifest. So I'm going to just copy that, and it says add the following element as a child of the application element. So let's go back to Eclipse. This is horribly complicated, but if you have the patience, it's not rocket science. It's just annoyingly fiddly. So we go to the Android manifest.xml. Let's click on the XML tab, and in this application element here, within this, I need to paste in that. Let's just double check that that's right. Yeah, it actually says by inserting it just before the closing tag of application. So I don't know if it makes a difference, probably not, but let's put it in the right place, just before the closing application tag. Then I go back to my browser and go back to the API console and copy this API key that we've created, and I paste that in here where it says your API key. Make sure you get the whole thing, and I'll just do Control-Shift-F to format that and save it. So now we've got a registered debug key in the application, and we're close to getting a map application working. Although I'm laughing because last time I did this, it just didn't work, and the time before it didn't work either. But after redoing it several times, it started working. I don't really know why. So okay, so that's it for this tutorial, and in the next tutorial I'm just going to paste in a bit of code and some permissions, and we'll see if this works or not, and if it doesn't, then I'm going to go and pull my hair out. Okay, so until next time, happy coding.